We create jobs and make entrepreneurial dreams come true. ACE, a nonprofit community lender, specializes in small business loans coupled with business advisory services. ACE has loaned more than $39 million, helped over 725 business owners fulfill their dreams, and ACE has helped its clients create or retain more than 6,200 jobs. These are the stories of those businesses we've helped reach success and claim their American dream.
Welcome to ACE's Best Stories. I'm your host, Eric Holtzclaw. Each week, we bring you another story of an entrepreneur or small business owner on their journey to getting their own business off the ground or keeping it there. Mm-hmm. So we're talking today, this is going to be a show that might make you hungry. Yeah. So we're talking to Ted Varno. He is a partner in Gyro City Hiram. Some of you may call it gyro, gyro, but it's those great sandwiches. Is it Greek? It's Greek, yes?
Yes, it is. Uh-huh.
Okay, Greek sandwiches and a pita with
tzatziki sauce.
I'm
some
hungry
lettuce, tomatoes.
already.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about the store or the restaurant.
It's a store. It's in Hiram, and it's a full-service restaurant. And what we're doing is we're serving gyros, we're serving salads, we're serving steaks, we're serving lamb, and we're trying to look for something like a Chipotle used to do, is when they come out with a quality food. And a lot of people that I've talked to said they're looking for something different.
Yeah.
You know, they've eaten a lot of chicken, hamburgers, French fries, so they're looking for something that's tasty, but also something that's healthy.
Yeah. That's a big trend to that. So,
yeah.
And so, talk to me about your background. So have you been in the restaurant space forever?
No, I used to be early on in my career, and then I actually worked in the computer systems for about 34 years and retired.
Oh, wow.
And my partner, his name is George Telios. He works out of the Merida Diner.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay,
and he's had 40-something years. He's won awards. He's been on the Food Channel.
Yeah.
And he came to me and said that he'd like to know if I'd be interested in a partnership. Of course, me being a little skeptical about it, I said, I can't cook. He says, well, you know computers, you know financing, you know a lot of stuff like that. Why don't we combine our talents?
Okay.
And it just made us a great fit.
Well, so how did you get connected with him?
We've known him over 20 years. He started off the Merida Diner, then he went to Pasta Bella, then he opened up the Merida Fish Market, then he opened Cattleman's, and he's really been a successful person. And as a person I can trust and a person I have respect for in the field, you know, winning the awards and all. And my son will be managing the location, but we wanted to put our resources together and open it.
Okay. Well, that's a switch, right? I mean, going from, you say computer programming and systems. And were you with big companies, or did you typically?
Government. I was, and was over about, almost 100,000 computers. So it was working with people, having a lot of people under you, but I learned processes. You got to have good processes in place, and I stay up on technology, and my partner knows how to cook and knows how to get the food out and knows how to just run a restaurant.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So I'm still curious about the decision you decided. Did you always want to be in the restaurant space?
I did.
Because my little secret is that's the one thing I haven't done, because I want to do it so badly.
Oh,
so
wow.
I love restaurants. My grandfather was kind of the serial entrepreneur. He owned restaurants, and and it's because it's a hard business. You got to know how to do it, right?
It's a very tough business, and it's something I didn't take lightly.
Yeah.
My wife used to say, well, you're retired and she's retired, and why are we doing this? And are you losing your mind? But we wanted to do it for my son. And we had an opportunity with a person who has a lot of talent, a person who knows it. And getting in, I've gotten in there, and I always tell people, do your homework before you go in there when you're looking at locations. And most people don't realize, the SBA has people that are available for free, that are at universities that'll help you. So when you're going out there.
So they'll help you,
for free.
For free.
Yeah, mine was out of Kennesaw University, and it was a great experience with that person, very knowledgeable. And of course, I'm working with Ace. Ace is phenomenal. I mean, the people there are great.
Yeah.
Just easy to work with.
So when did you decide you needed to bring Ace in? So what was kind of the process?
At the beginning, as a small entrepreneur, one thing you can't do in this business is you can't be underfunded.
Okay.
Because if you go in and you've got to know your cost, and you've got the SBA provides the resources. And ACE was there, and they're a person you can call. And I can't tell you, Benita and Robin, they were wonderful. Yeah. And you could call them, talk to them, and we identified our cost. SBA worked with us too. We developed our projections. Of course, my partner has another restaurant like this. He just opened up in Decula, and it's doing extremely well.
Okay.
So we sat down, and they were able to help me, and we talked. And getting in there, we learned how to deal with landlords, insurance, and how to build walls, and how to deal with counties, and it was
all kinds of details.
All kinds of
it's
details.
Not just, and so, did you find I know that the concept for the restaurant sort of came out of the partnership, but the concept of, did you find a location first? Like what came first? What was your first decision?
The location. We looked at what the rent was going to be. And of course, in the restaurant business, you got to look at the traffic patterns, but you also got to look at common sense things like parking. Do we have enough parking? And we were fortunate we found parking. We found a landlord that was interested in and even provided us funding up front for some of the tenant improvements.
Oh, wow, okay.
So we were able to improve it. We knew what our budget was. And no matter how good you plan, your budget's always going to go more.
I know, isn't that crazy?
It is. It really is.
Then you think that I'm in the middle of a basement renovation project. And I was like, we put a big number out there. Yeah, we're above that big number.
I know.
We're above that big. We found foundational walls that had to be changed and all kinds of crazy stuff. I'm like, exactly. So we should have set a lower number because then we...
Exactly.
Yeah. So but thinking about location, did you just go out and scout places yourself, or did you work with
my partner George did, and he looked at a lot of locations, and he's been looking at locations a lot. And he looks at the traffic pattern. We look at our businesses nearby. How's the housing? What is the projected growth? And we just looked, and we seen Hiram, of course, is a growing community, and we got up there, and the traffic was unbelievable.
Oh, wow.
We sat there, and we looked, and we said, my God, this is unbelievable. So, coming into this business, we're in a Greek business. A lot of people went into chicken or pizza, but the competition is extremely fierce.
Yeah.
So going into Greek, we looked around, and there really weren't many Greek restaurants near us.
Yeah, no, that's smart. And a Greek restaurant, that's one of my favorite alternative choices on a weekday for lunch or something. It's like, a little Greek place or whatever. So were you originally from Hiram, or is that just...
No, I'm in Marietta. That's a location we looked at. And Wellstar opened a large hospital up the road.
Yeah.
And we just looked, and the businesses were there. And one of the things my partners had a lot of experience in is catering too.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a good sideline business to
exactly.
Add on to the traffic you have coming in.
Exactly. It's a big one. And, technologies now like Uber Eats, different things, you could bring your business tremendous. You can do a lot better business with if you're technology involved.
Yeah. Well, this sounds almost, it's not a franchise, but it sounds franchise-ish, right? Like you're partnered with him. He knows how to do it. It's a potentially slightly different model each time, but you've got a partner that's taking care of it, and then he's giving you some of the experience he's had doing it for years.
Exactly. And one of the big things he mentioned is when we went in there, he said, I want to expand the kitchen. And I said, well, we got to take from the dining room. But, he made me realize that unless you have a good kitchen, you can't produce.
Yeah. Yeah. So so you can have the biggest dining room in the world, and if you can't get the food out there, then
you're in trouble.
Yeah, and I would think too, like one of the smart things that you're talking about. I've interviewed a lot of people who do restaurants or others, and multiple revenue streams, like having the ability to do the catering, to do the Uber Eats, like maximizing the use of that space.
Exactly.
Yeah. So through the build out, so you say it took longer and cost more than you thought? Or?
Yeah. One thing I tell people too is if you're going to go into commercial space, you have to use licensed people. At your home you can get away with doing things, but when you go in there, you've got to know what the county codes are. You've got to know how to. You got to get licensed people that'll do the work, and the work will be more expensive.
Yeah. Was that one of the biggest surprises, or tell me something like I've talked to people, like one lady I talked to has a smoothie shop or something, and she still had to have a grease trap. She's like, we don't cook anything, but I still had to have a grease trap.
Yes, you've got. As a matter of fact, I had the fortunate of we just met with the county commissioner out in Paulding, And he was just curious on, how our experience was. And I said, going from different counties to different counties, it's different in each county.
Yeah.
So you're better off doing a little homework up front, see what you really need.
Right.
And proceed forward.
So what was your biggest surprise?
My biggest surprise, how many different departments you have to deal with and how many different inspections you got ahead, and what may be suitable in Cobb County is not suitable in Paulding County. We built an awning and, a patio, and we're trying to get outside business. But I learned an awful lot here, a real lot. It was a good learning experience for me.
So if that is the case, if it's different from county to county and I need to really know what I'm getting into, is it just the nature of Googling, or do I need to go talk to like someone who started a restaurant in that county to really understand it? Like, well, how did you know you were following the right path?
Well, Googling's a good source, and then I'd go down to the county and talk to people. And I also talk to other people, like you said, your idea there. Go to a restaurant, go to someone who's been there, who's done it. And a lot of times it's good to deal with the local people for repairs like plumbing or electrical that know the county code well.
Okay, so they can keep you safe. So they can
Yes.
come in and they know how to. So not necessarily your favorite electrician, but one that may be a local electrician.
Yeah, that's very familiar with the county
Got
and
it.
knows the code. Because sometimes I've dealt with people that got a Georgia, they're certified by the state, but yet each county is a little different, and expertise may be in Fulton County or Cobb and not in Paulding. So it's good to get someone who knows the code.
Yeah, very interesting. All right. Well, we're going to go to a commercial break, and when we get
Okay.
back, we're going to talk a little bit about, it's not just about getting the restaurant up and running. It's also about promoting it, getting those first customers in, like all those kind of things. So I want to talk a little bit about what that's looked like, some of the things that you've learned about hiring and attracting employees and turnover, like all those fun things that come with running one of these kind of ventures. So we're talking today with Ted Varno. He's partner in Gyro City Hiram. You're listening to Ace's Best Stories. I'm your host, Eric Holtzclaw. We'll be back in just a minute.
If it wasn't for ACE, my business may have closed in 1 year.
If it wasn't for ACE, my business wouldn't be expanded as much as it's expanding right now. They were there for me at the time of my need.
If it wasn't for ACE, we would not be here today.
If it wasn't for ACE, I would very much still be cooking at an hourly rate, and I would have never impacted hundreds of lives and an entire community.
I still remember going to different kind of banks, big banks, and with papers, and these people send me back because I don't have, I had experience in the restaurant business, but I don't have, everything else this bank needed, and I believe in me.
I did the research in Adult Day. I had experienced it personally because my grandfather had Alzheimer's. So I wanted to do the business myself, get into it because I knew I could make a difference.
Initially, when we started, there was only one person, which would be me. And then the company I've grown from 1% to 8, and we provide quality assurance, quality control testing for FDA-regulated companies.
I think Grace not only completely understands what it's like to start off in an office connected to your laundry room or wherever she was, but she also understands the growth process, and I think that she does an excellent job of making sure that everybody who works with ACE has an understanding of the kind of struggles and celebrations that you can have.
ACE has helped us with putting our business idea into the market, working with us with the business, actually working, actually showing us, guiding me personally, how to solve some of my marketing issue problems or with the business planning.
You don't meet many lenders that are invested in your success. And, from their classes or presentations, seminars, they really do have a vested interest in your success.
The best advice I can do to small business owners is follow your dreams. Always follow your dreams, follow your heart.
Have a plan. Just because you have a passion for it doesn't mean that you can start a good business.
Get ready for the ride of your life. And definitely make sure that you look out for fantastic resources like ACE.
ACE is a way to go.
You're just the best. They really are.
And we're back. You're listening to Ace's Best Stories. I'm your host, Eric Holtzclaw, getting hungrier and hungrier by the moment because I am speaking with Ted Varno. He's partner in Gyro City Hiram, and I was sharing with him that a good gyro with like fries. Are you gonna have like the curly fries or the waffle fries?
We're going to have the curly fries, and we're thinking of the waffle ones. We're just got the menu finalized.
That process was probably fun, right?
Oh, it was. It was. My partner at Meredith Diner, they have over 600 items on their menu.
And an awesome dessert case.
Oh, we're going to have the same desserts.
Oh, see, now that's my thing, right? Like,
Yeah.
I like my favorite thing at the Marietta Diner is their Gyro platter.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
In fact, that may be where I have to go to dinner tonight now. And then we would go like to a movie or something and then go over and have the desserts in the dessert case. Those big, beautiful desserts.
They're gorgeous.
Yeah. Okay, you're going to do the same thing?
Yeah. I'm not associated with the Meredith Diner, but my partner is.
Yeah. I'm just using it as an example.
But we're going to try to do the same thing because, it's truly amazing. If you go there and you go into their kitchen, they got 20 cooks, and they're putting out seafood, they're putting out Italian, they're putting out breakfast, and they do it. I mean, you have to watch it to appreciate what they're able to pull together.
Right, yeah. And so then how did you go through the process of deciding what would be on your menu?
I relied a lot on my partner, and I know we're a smaller operation, and we've got a footprint where we think we're going to keep growing and we're going to use it and we're going to keep it the same, but we're not going to be as extensive. And we're going to have a lot of good choices, but not to that level.
Yeah, okay. And so you were telling me during the break that you've got, you're opening in 3 or 4 weeks maybe.
Yeah.
So in this kind of move up to the 3 or 4 weeks, are you in the process, you're hiring your staff yet, or you're just looking for them? Like, where are you in that process?
We're actually hiring the staff right now. We want to bring them in and train them.
Okay.
We're going to do like a soft opening where we bring people in, and you really don't want to publicize the business until your crew is ready to go.
Yeah.
Because if you open and you stumble, sometimes people can, not be forgiving.
Yeah.
Which is understandable.
Yeah, those soft openings, I've gone to a couple of those before, and those are smart because you're told going in, we're just new.
Yeah, please bear with us.
We may be slow, or we're trying to figure things out, and it gives you an opportunity to it's a dry run. It gets to see what's working, what you need to fine tune, how people kind of know their roles. It's never the same to tell them as it is for them to actually participate.
Right.
And so as you look for people to come in, are you looking for people who, have previous restaurant experience? Or are you making them go work somewhere else before they work for you? Like, are they green and they've never worked in a restaurant before? What are your kind of propensities right now from a hiring perspective?
We look for people that got great attitudes, people that want to serve, because you could train a person. The most important thing is having the attitude. And, I look at Chick-fil-A, how well they've done. And when you go in a restaurant, you look, and they've really done a great job on insisting that people, be very nice to the customer, keep overly pleasing them, and work towards that.
And Chick-fil-A does an amazing.
We're impressed with their.
Amazing. Well, it's the one place that if I'm rushed at lunch, I've got to be somewhere. I'm like, I can go through a Chick-fil-A and I know I can be in and out in 2 or 3 minutes, right? And there's 1,000 people at that restaurant. I mean, you walk in, there's a ton. So they just do a great job from an efficiency perspective of getting people through and still serving something that's good.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we want people that are going to smile. We want people that are going to be there, because when you come in, we want to give you the best possible experience. You have choices to go elsewhere, and we want to provide an excellent quality, but we want to really be top notch on customer service.
Okay. And so I talked to you a little bit about, what might have been tougher, or, you said making sure you know all the county rules and, that you've really done your homework. What's maybe been easier? Like something you thought would be hard and it was like, that wasn't so bad.
I've got into pulling my stuff together. I did a little research. In our day and time, Google's been a great help for us, because we Google things, and we Google Secretary of State, we Google this, we Google that, and you find things that are helpful. We're good on Facebook. We like Facebook, and we're not even promoting it, and we're getting more and more likes on our
awesome.
Website. Yeah,
it's because you can't go wrong with a gyro.
No, you can't. You can't. And people tell me now too, they want the salads, they want the olive oil, they want the vinegar, they want things that are more healthy, because you can start, especially if you start getting older, you go to a doctor, and of course you want to eat more healthier foods.
Right. Yeah, and that whole idea of being able to Google or watch or whatever, like I was telling you, I've been doing a basement renovation, and we YouTube video most of our projects have been because we watched a YouTube video. I mean, we're in an amazing time where you can go find the information, and it's much more easily accessible. It's just knowing what the right information is to follow.
Yeah, it is. And word of mouth is so important in this business. And what my wife and I, we've, since we retired, we volunteered to help animals, get them out of. And we want to do that at Gyro City too. We want to be able to give a little bit back to the community.
Yeah,
because we're blessed in that way.
And so it's going to be you, your wife, and your son involved?
And my partner.
Okay.
My son will be running it, and my wife and I will be there, and we'll stay with. Eventually, he'll run it. We'd like to expand. I think we've got a good idea. I think we've got a good footprint and the products. And once we feel comfortable, we'll go to our next location.
Okay.
Like I said, we just opened one of these up in Decula, and it's doing well. We're going to be bringing some people there because we want to bring in some experienced people. And my partner's got some Greek people that'll be cooking. Matter of fact, he's more comfortable speaking Greek than he is English.
Which means that the Gyros will be
good.
Awesome.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
So if you're in the kind of final weeks of starting to bring it online, you say people are already liking the Facebook page. Mm-hmm. So you're doing some marketing. Like how are you deciding how much to do and how much not to do? Like what's your decisions around that?
Right now we're doing limiting marketing and Facebook, and it's growing on its own. Once we feel confident, the crew's in place, we can do extra business, we're going to start doing the marketing heavily.
Yeah.
We've been doing T-shirts. We're making T-shirts, and what we'd like to do is have, if the people come in and buy a T-shirt, it'll be very reasonably priced, but give a portion of the proceeds to help the, animal rescue and stuff.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Now T-shirts are great because somebody then is walking around with an advertisement.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And what about talk to me about kind of community? Has that been a thing? Are there schools and stuff in the area?
Yeah, there's some schools, and my wife has reached out to the school, and they have some people that are interested in culinary. At the schools, we're going to try and let them come in and learn the business, because you could see, there's so many different things you could cook on there and learn how to cook it and learn how to season it. Yeah. And give the people the experience.
There's a lot of restaurants that will do the tasting menus or the kitchen, the chef's table, mm-hmm. right? Or they will teach you how to cook certain things.
Exactly.
That gives you a different experience with that restaurant that you haven't had in other places. Mm-hmm. So I like that. That's really smart.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so as you start to think about that expansion, so how do you know when it might be time to look for the next one?
Well, we'll look at the sales here, and that's something you have to educate yourself on as an owner. You have to go and look at what your costs are going to be, and you have to control the cost. What we found that we're going to be is our food costs will be a little higher than most people, but we want to give them a good-sized portion. I know if you go in the Marietta Diner, the portions are tremendous.
Right.
And I think that's, you pay for a little bit more in food costs, but you get return customers as a result of that.
Yeah. So, but as you think about some of the milestones that might say, hey, we've got this thing working? Like, is it you're not even considering that for a couple of years? It's that you know that you're going to get to a certain revenue target. Have you thought about?
Oh yeah, we're thinking about if all goes well here. Well, like I say, one of the big important things to us, my wife and I, and my partners, if you go to another store, you got to make sure the store you left is running correctly.
Yeah.
And my son is very dedicated. He's had a management experience, and he's really a very hard worker. So we're looking at our next location maybe in another 3 months.
Okay.
We're reaching out to some people. We're looking at locations. And like I say, we do our homework. You can't afford to go into a bad area or a location the rent's too high.
Yeah. Well, and it sounds like you're all very process oriented.
Yeah, we are.
All of this stuff is based on having good process in place, people knowing what they need to do, and if it takes a while to open, you want to go ahead and start looking, right? Because it's going to take you some time to find that next location.
Yeah, and we've met with some realtors, and we told them what we're looking for. And they'll be looking for it, and then we'll have it in place.
Yeah. Yeah, this trend around sort of this kind of, would you consider yours fast casual, or is it more like sit down?
It's sit down, and we'll serve. And that was a big thing, thinking about, do we do self-service where people come in and order, and they get their meal and go and sit down? And I talked to a lot of customers up on Hiram, and they've been very supportive. But they said, we like to come down, and we'd like to sit and have a meal and have someone wait on us. And one thing I'm finding talking to more and more customers is both the husband and wife are working, and they come, they either want to have, pick it up, or they want to sit and have a meal.
Right.
Because I think life's gotten a little more hectic for all of us.
Yeah.
We got, spouses working, and then you got the children, and that's almost a full-time job in itself, taking them to school.
Atlanta traffic.
Exactly.
That other party to our lives that we can't seem to fix. So, well, I'm very, very cool. That's great. I'm very impressed with what you've done so far. I can't wait to see the place.
No, we'd love you to come, and we really want to push customer service. We're going to be serving next year. We'll get our beer and wine, and we'll try to serve some Greek wines, and we want it to be a place where you come and you could chill out and relax.
Very nice. Well, thank you for joining me.
Thank you for your time, and I just want to say again, thanks for Ace.
Yes, Ace's Best Stories that come to you every Tuesday at 9 p.m. We talk to you about another business or business owner who is building their dream. We've been talking today with Ted Varno. He's a partner in Gyro City Hiram, which you need to check them out here in the next 2 or 3, 4 weeks. We'll see on their Facebook when they're there. Until next time, I've been your host, Eric Holtzclaw. Thanks for joining us.